All right. All right, excellent. So here we are. Welcome to all those people that couldn't attend this really good session because we've had an amazing time so far. And let me run through what we've done so you can have a picture of what to do. This is a 7-step method for quickly mastering any technical text. In 2024, why do we say 2024? Because it's the age of AI and generative AI as an assistant, as a tool for reading, for writing, for listening, for speaking, for language learning, for skills learning, for competence building, for self-reflection, and technical skills learning. So one of the issues that lawyers have, and many other people, is understanding technical texts after one reading. Because the idea is that you need to understand information, whether you're working on a case with machinery or with complex technical processes or chemicals, biochemicals, and medicine. You'll need to know have an understanding of the chemistry and how things work in order to really effectively make judgments or arguments from a certain area or field. And so this 7-step method is going to double the knowledge that you have of any text within the same one reading of that text. But you can't just read it blindly. You have to actually go through a couple of steps. And what we do as language teachers at Cambridge, what they taught, and now that you can do on your own, and I'm teaching you this method for corporate professionals, but also it works for anyone, is that you learn the vocabulary first, the complex vocabulary, then you read the text and make connections with your goals or what you're trying to achieve from that text, and then review. And that's through some type of activity. Now, normally the teacher would create this or a book would create this. But now we have ChatGPT, we have generative AI, Bard, Bing, and others that can actually do this. So just to run you quickly through what we did, and then we'll get to the discussion point, is that we asked for complex vocabulary within definitions and examples. We asked it to create a summary. Then we obviously went through the vocabulary, read the summary, and noting keywords and concepts. And then we got to the stage of reviewing the text, scan, skim, read in general, note vocabulary. And then what we're going to be doing now is going to the detailed reading, making connections to goals, and then the comprehension questions. And then by then, all of these students that are here present today, welcome to everyone, that we will master a technical text within one reading. All right, so what we've done already is we asked AI. So in the chat here, I will put the content related to what we ask AI. We ask it not just for a definition. So here we are. We went to this corporate site. We found the site that is related to the company, the wonderful company that we're working with today. And they have their own tech magazine. In their own tech magazine, there's information, and they do a lot of product descriptions, and this will work for any text. This is what we chose. It's about robotic cars and sensing technology to bring us closer to autonomous driving. So there's a lot of complex vocabulary in there. We simply in the first step, ask the AI to give us a list of 15 to 20 of the most difficult terms or difficult concepts. And then here it is, telematics. Do you know what telematics refers to? Well, if you're working in sensory products and magnets, everything like that, cars, any autonomous vehicle or robotic, any machine like that, you're definitely going to be using this telematics, this understanding of the distribution. And but you have to know that term. So there's a lot of these other things: millimeter wave radar, adversely resolution. So the students and I have already gone through that. But here's the thing. When you ask the GPT for the prompt, don't just ask it for the complex vocabulary, because this by itself is not going to teach you anything. You ask it also for definitions and examples. And so that's why in the chat, we had that prompt that's asking for definitions and examples. And so if you get definitions and examples, and then you add a couple even specific elements to the prompt, you can make your own gap fill exercise that, again, triggers your mind in order for you to memorize this vocabulary quickly. So now we have the definitions. And then I went one step further and said, give me the definitions and an example sentence with a gap fill of the word. And make it relevant to this text that I copy and paste in. So we copied and pasted in the first step. Well, we copied and pasted in this text into the AI and said, based on this text, make a get the difficult vocabulary, make definitions, and then example sentences with gap fills related to the text's content. So now what we did is we very successfully went through these definitions and examples one by one. I mean, in this case, the group went traded turns on each one, but in your own case, in your own reading, you simply just do it yourself. And so, for example, telematics, the branch of information technology that deals with long distance transmission of computerized information. All right, but we know that is related to this because it's the telematics system in modern cars enables real-time monitoring of vehicle performance and facilitates communication with external networks. So now I'm connecting these things with the modern cars, real-time monitoring. I get it. That's what the telematics does. It's actually how this transmission occurs. So it's the science behind it. All right, so we go through that on our own before we read the text. And now we understand all these key terms, and we have these examples. So the second step, the summary. AI can create a summary of the entire text for you. So you get the key vocabulary, and then you do the summary. And I'm going to show you why you do the key vocabulary first. Because in the summary, you have some of the difficult words, keywords. Autonomous. What does autonomous mean in relation to driving technologies? Well, now you know. Periphery, drastic. What's peripheral information acquisition? So if you study the vocabulary before reading the text, you already know what that means. Then you talk about LiDAR in this, TMR angle sensors. So these some quite specific stuff, and you're going to find this in technical texts of all types. And so you can simply add those to the list of your known words. And then by the time you read the summary, you know what they're talking about with laser radar. And then now you're ready to read the text. So that's just where we've gotten so far. We've gotten past stage 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we've asked AI for the complex vocabulary with definitions and examples. We've reviewed that. We've asked AI to create the summary. We reviewed that. We've noted the keywords and concepts, reminding ourselves of the vocabulary. We've now reviewed the text and also in detail to make connections to the goals. And the goal in this case with this team was to understand the product liability issues related to autonomous vehicle operation using LiDAR and telematics-based sensors. So this is quite an interesting, detailed discussion for people that aren't typically aware of these technologies, but yet need to make decisions about the technologies and need that base knowledge. All right. So now that was the long introduction and reminder. Okay, great. All right, we're going to go through a quick example of this. And okay, so here we are on the internet. We have our 7 steps. We have our text, right? We've already analyzed the vocabulary. We've already analyzed the summary. We've looked at the text in detail, making connections to goals. Well, our goal is to understand, in this case, because we're talking with lawyers who need to know about this technical area, connections to goals. The goal is to understand a product liability, potential product liability. So when we read the text, we read it with the general knowledge the first time, and then the second time, we read it with a specific goal in mind to understand the product liability point. For example, now I've quickly. And so basically, we've gotten to this level to understand product liability and say, okay, well, give me one example of what's product liability in this text. Well, when we look at this, when we understand the difference between safe driving assistance, semi-autonomous driving systems, and fully autonomous driving systems, we already see at the beginning of the text potential issues when you think of the liability of the machines controlling the movements of these vehicles. And what is the difference in definition from semi-autonomous and fully autonomous systems, and how does that relate to product liability? So I think that there is a big issue when you have no driver of a car, nobody to take responsibility behind the wheel, what we say in America, behind the wheel of the car driving the vehicle versus a machine. So there's this idea of some functions that the machine might do. For example, the car might have different things it controls, the seat belts and driving range and the tire slippage and these other things, but and not the wheel. But then what happens when you do the wheel? So that already I could understand. If you are making products that are for fully autonomous vehicles, that you're going to definitely have a lot of liability to cover. So that's for one example. I want to hear now from the team what examples you came up with from the text. And you can either share your screen or tell me where the text is if you want me to see it. But otherwise, we'll just go to listening. Masaharu-san, I believe that you wanted to start.
Okay. Hold on. Yes. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, TDK, yeah. Oh, let me. Yeah, I shared the screen, and could everybody see the screen?
Good.
Yeah. This article mentioned that the TMR angle sensors from TDK. Yeah, this sensor is produced by TDK, and this system helps the vehicle to save gasoline for by detecting the efficiency of the this I think that the part of engine and a gear transmission. I believe that yeah. So this sensor gives a signal to engine, I think so, and it it helps to control the gear parser, make the gear parser smoother, I think, and that's why the engine moves smoothly and result in the saving gas
Gasoline.
gasoline usage. So if this system is if its sensor doesn't work, it wastes the driver or car wasting the gasoline. So yeah, it may be the potential peer
Product liability.
risk. Yeah, yeah,
Risk.
product reliability risk.
So you would think that the sensors operation, understanding the angles and the speeds and the timing and the amount of fuel or gasoline being injected into the engine would then result in a potential loss of efficiency in the case that the sensor doesn't work, and therefore create a liability claim. Excellent. Wow. And we have some different cool sensors. We have a crank angle sensor, an engine control unit, a cam angle sensor, and some interesting stuff. Excellent. All right. That's one good example from the text. Would another person like to share a different example? Excellent. Thank you for that, Masaharu-san.
Yeah, you're welcome. Who's next? Come on, please. Voluntary.
Well,
So I will, okay.
please.
Well, yes, I will go next and, えっと、Can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah, as discussed in the part about the laser-rated servers highly capable eyes of the robotic car, it is crucial for the artificial intelligence to develop more to realize the fully autonomous driving, as discussed here. And about the product liability issue, it, in the case of the car with a full autonomous artificial intelligence about driving, in case there is a car accident of such car, the defect and such accident is occurs due to the defect of the automobile. There are two types of defects that we can think of. First one is the defect about the hardware of automobile, and the second one is the defect in the artificial intelligence or other kind of software. And in the in the latter case, I mean, if there is a defect in the software embedded on the automobile and causing the car accident, under the Japanese product liability law, the software defect is not blamed for product liability because product liability law is applying to only the tangible property or tangible products. So, as a manufacturer which produces tangible products for TDK electronic components, if we are doing the autonomous driving related business and we uses the third-party software or artificial intelligence into our electronic components, we must consider that the vendor is not liable for product liability, and it is also necessary to do some contractual approach with such software vendor as a so that we can appropriately control the risk related to product liability.
Excellent. I like that you made a distinction between the software and the hardware, and made another distinction and then connected that parallel to the different stakeholders, including the consumers, including the product, the software providers, including TDK, of course, the company. So I think that was a great analysis and a good example of exactly where, when we consider artificial intelligence systems and the oncoming technology and regulation and policies related to that, those are key considerations for the autonomous vehicle. Excellent. All right. I don't know if we can get better than that, but Aoi-san, would you like to come up with an example?
In the article, I found magnetic sensors, and it is not mentioned that this defect of magnetic sensor lead to car accident, but it's related to error of censoring TMR, what TMR sensor have watch. So it's not, it is indirectly related to the car accident. That's it.
So the product, so you're taking an interesting, more critical standpoint in the sense of defining where the liability lies. Now, what about in the case of the responsibility of the driver in an autonomous vehicle? When we talk about direct and indirect, is the direct control of the vehicle by the machine, does that make the creators of the machine liable? Or in cases where there couldn't be, like, for example, a dilemma where if you could swerve left and kill one person or swerve right and kill 10 people, or continue forward and and die by hitting an object, well, which one would the car choose? Which one would you choose if you're put in that situation? So the hypothetical situation is related to the indirect liability that you mentioned, but in the end, the responsibility has to lie somewhere.
Yes. Maybe.
Maybe. But where, Aoi-san, where does the responsibility lie in such situations? Okay, so I mean, we looked at now at this text from a pretty good and holistic view and a detailed view. Your overall impressions, did the method work good so far?
Excuse me.
Okay, great. Now we've gotten to point 5. And as you can see immediately from 3 people who did not know about some of these concepts before, were able to articulate them and relate them to their practice within one reading. And that's what this AI assistant can help us to do by understanding the key vocabulary and concepts, getting an overall view of the text content, reading in detail with a purpose, with a goal in mind. And then now the last step is to review, and AI can help us with that too. So we have AI at the beginning, AI at the end, and a big meat sandwich of our own development and understanding in the middle. So we're just using AI basically as a brain trick tool and assistant. And so what I did is basically asked it to make multiple choice questions based on the content of the article. So I have the same article. It's in the same chat in Bing or in ChatGPT with the definitions. And I just said, make some multiple choice questions, comprehension questions. And the key thing is that you have very specific instructions here. Ask AI to make comprehension questions or discussion or definition questions. Now, you can use the discussion questions to practice your speaking and listening. All right. So, but the AI will make those questions for you. So just as it made the definitions and examples, the summary, now we have the multiple choice questions. And guess what? You get to now do this as a team. So we'll stop the recording, and then you get to do this, and then you can choose these answers. So it's based on page 5 in the shared document, page 5 and 6, and just go ahead and as a team answer those questions. And then we'll get back and finalize the reading for today. And the awesome approach that the AI enables, that combines with the Cambridge approach. Okay. All right. So if you go to page 5 on the shared doc, you should see it. And I'll go ahead and stop this recording. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll maybe come back for the answers. Okay, so we're back. You've had a chance to answer all the questions and look at that specifically. So I'm going to just share my screen. And where we're at. So we have these 10 questions. These are the ones that are made by AI. I've given you 10 minutes to answer the 10 questions based on the text. Okay, number 1.
Josh, excuse me. I have a meeting on 8 from now, so I have to leave. So thank you for the wonderful seminar today, and thank you for entire this year for
sorry about the extra time, but have a happy new year. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. You too. See you in next year.
Okay, see you next year, buddy. Okay, but the two of you can stay on a few more minutes.
Yes.
Great, let's finish. So what term is used to describe the linking of people, things, and information through networks?
A.
Okay, next one.
Also A.
Okay, great. Next.
A. Again.
A. Okay. Let me just check that. All right. Now, next one. Oh, answer C, unaffected by bad weather conditions. All right, so that's one of the key benefits of the specific technology. Okay, next one. What's the principle behind LiDAR?
We thought it was A, but the screen shows the answer is. Okay.
Yeah, laser the scan. It's a laser scan technology, and we can see that also from the summary, and also the definition of LiDAR. And so this, but the options were a little bit difficult. But in any case, next one. According to the passage, what is one disadvantage of the existing wireless magnetic sensor used? Answer C, low output. Primary purpose of the TMR angle sensor. B, improved fuel economy, which you pointed out in our discussion of the text, Hajime, already, which is not mentioned as a TMR application. Autonomous driving, which is surprising, isn't it? Because that was kind of a good challenging question in the text, because the text is about autonomous driving. Role of the engine control unit to calculate the optimal timing and amount of injected fuel. And then what technology is specifically mentioned as sensing the vicinity of a vehicle, and then the millimeter wave radar. And that's where also the issues with the weather and the outside conditions come into play. And of course, we also discussed for the last few minutes, which is why we are over time, which challenges need to be addressed for the development of autonomous driving. And then, of course, that is the weather conditions. So what we have here is a good example of what we can do with this method. Let me just share my screen once more. And so what we have done during this session is gotten a quick method. It's 7 steps, but it's only one real reading of a text. But when you do this method, you get the vocabulary first, you get a summary first, you're able to generally understand and pick out those specific key terms, and then you can read for a proper detailed understanding of what you need to reach your goals. So, and then the final step is, well, I just forgot everything I read. So how about a review exercise or some kind of challenge for me to actually show that I could comprehend the text. So that's good for today. And we'll leave you on for the next one. I'd just like to ask you both to hold on for a minute. But thank you very much. And also to all the team and everyone out there that's learning this quick method to master any technical text in 2024, the era of AI assistance.